Hey team, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be taking a look at a post from r/engineering students titled, "How's engineering affecting my social life?" Oh, also make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Doesn't really do anything for you, but it helps me out a lot, so thanks if you do that. I couldn't make any friends during 2 years of engineering while my friends from other majors all have new friends and new circle. I've been always an introvert and a shy person, but uni made it even worse, and I think because I used to go to uni alone, attend courses alone, and go back home and repeat. Even my lab partners like me, and we only talk about our projects, nothing else, literally. Now, even when I'm with a new group of people outside uni, it's hard for me to talk or blend with others since I'm used to only listen and not talk, and all I can think of is how it's getting worse now that my friends are hanging out with their friends, and it's hard to schedule anything with them, so I'm lonely and only talk to my mom. Any tips, please? I need to make new friends. I don't even think a poor social life is a byproduct of engineering. I think a lot of people struggle with it no matter the major. In fact, this problem I see affecting a lot of new grads, people that just graduated college. If people didn't make friends in college, they enter the adult life and they're like, oh my god, who are my friends? Who do I talk to now? I'm not getting put in class with like 30 to 100 people that are my age that I can just talk to. What do I do? How do I meet people? So actually, I don't even think this is an engineering specific problem. I think this is just a human problem, which is really funny because people always like to attribute, oh no, I'm not social, I don't have friends, and that's engineering fault. Not my fault, that's the major, it's the field I'm in. No, I mean, hey, if I was a different major, I'd have tons of friends. I'd be so cool, people would love me, but it's too bad I'm an engineer. That sucks. There's nothing I can do. Yep, I'm dealt the cards I'm dealt. I'm an engineer, there's nothing I can do. But it's hard to respond to this post in a way that doesn't sound mean, because what you've outlined is that you've taken absolutely no steps to being social, and you're like, why am I not social? Like, what do you think was gonna happen? That's like not eating and then being like, I don't get it, I'm hungry. Like, what do you not get? It's right there. So I guess the advice here is the advice that I give to a lot of people that have graduated college. You know, I've been out of college 2 years now, and some people have asked me questions like, what is it like? How is the post-grad life? And I was actually just having this conversation with someone a couple weeks ago that is graduating, I think today, in fact, when I'm recording this. And I told him that you have to be very deliberate with your socialization. Actually, everything you do as an adult, you have to be very deliberate. All the moves you make, all the decisions you make have to be very conscious. See, college is so misleading. It gives you such a skewed version of what the adult life will be like, because in college, you are in a city where all the friends you have are within like 5 miles of you. You can get to any friend in about 20 minutes tops. Every class you take, everyone in that class is like within 5 years of your age. But then you leave college and you realize, oh, I don't just have hundreds of friends that live within a mile of me. I need to still see them. How do I do that? In college, you could go to a bookstore, you go somewhere downtown, you go anywhere on campus and run into someone you know. By the time you're a senior, you probably can't go anywhere without knowing someone. This happened in high school, this happened in college for me, because as you spend more time at the school, you start to make more and more friends, your circle grows, and then you pretty much can't go anywhere without bumping shoulders with one of your besties. And that's what happens if hundreds of you stay in the same place for 4 years. It builds a community. But then after you leave that community, you graduate college, you graduate high school, you now have to fend for yourself. You have to be very deliberate in your actions. Because sure, can you go to the grocery store and run into a friend of yours? Yeah. Maybe like once a year now. Before, you know, when you were in college, you could go to Trader Joe's on any day of the week and boom, you'd see like 5 people you know. For me, it was typically the people working there, and they were like, why are you here so often? I'm like, that's none of your business, okay? I could ask you the same thing. But you must do what it sounds like you haven't done at this point, and that is be deliberate. It sounds like you just, you know, sat back, gone with the flow, which is, you know, no big deal, but then there shouldn't be a question of why did things end up this way. There's that saying, right? Open mouths get fed. You need to talk to your friends. Tell them you want to hang out with them. It sounds like you do have friends, which is a great start. That's more than most have. Now you just have to be vocal. You have to tell people around you, what do you want? And then they might be able to meet those needs. Right now, it's like you're going into the parking lot of a Taco Bell and wondering why they're not coming out of the building to take your order. You got to go in there. Put yourself in the position to where you can get what you want. And that might be a cheesy gordita crunch with some Cinnabon delights. Ooh. I think I just decided dinner. That's nice. But yes, my advice to you, whether you are an engineer, whether you are a postgrad, whether you're anyone, I think this just applies to humans. You have to be deliberate in what you want. And I think the older you get, there's a lot of responsibilities you have, a lot of things pulling you in so many different directions that you need to carve out a path for yourself and decide, what do I need? What do I want? And then go and get it. You're not always going to get what you want or need, but if you are purposeful in that pursuit, that's a great step one. That is where you need to be at the bare minimum. Because if you sit back, I hate that I'm about to say this, but life will just pass by. It doesn't stop for you. The reason I don't like saying that is because it just sounds so brutal, but it's true, unfortunately. So you can either, be put down by that fact or embrace it as the challenge it is and go on the attack and create the life that you want. Now, you do, I think, point out that you're out of practice. You're like, man, even when I get in these situations, I don't even think I know what I'm doing. And that's natural. But you just got to keep doing it. This is how everyone felt after the pandemic, right? We all went back into public and we're like, oh my God, what the hell is this? I remember after things started to open up and you got to go places and socialize, I started getting tired very quickly because I wasn't socializing that much before. I wasn't talking that much. My body wasn't used to it. It was like, hey, whoa, we were just chilling for like a year. What is this? But you got to put some skill points in that category, and the only way to do that is to complete, side missions, side quests, and those will give you some points for your social meter, Not everything is a video game. I don't know why, but that's like one way to think about it, right? Gamify your life, Oh, I hate that. But yeah, just practice, and don't let the fact that you're bad at a thing deter you from doing a thing. Before anyone's good, we all suck. That goes with doing anything new. And you're not new to socializing, but you're out of practice. So you got to treat it like it's a new endeavor and practice as much as you can. But what do I know, huh? I record videos in this room alone. So let's see what the comments say. This really isn't about engineering, but about taking the initiative. Hit up your lab mate and ask them to hang out someday. Attend social events at your institution, join clubs, and talk to people in your class. Exactly. That was very succinctly put, a nice little packaged answer of basically what I was talking about, but they just, said it without yapping on, I am fluent in Japanese, some might say. None of that has anything to do with engineering. You just need to work on your social confidence. Well, I mean, they're right, but it's funny to be like, you need to work on your confidence, which it just feels kind of like targeted, but it is. I mean, there's no, like I said, there's no like nice way to talk about this. Long story short, get to know people outside of your major and maybe even school altogether. I also think there's another factor at play where we engineering students think school has to feel hard and lonely. It doesn't. It can be fun. I've been in the same spot. I started my degree right when the pandemic hit, so I didn't get to see any of my fellow students until the 5th semester. It was lockdowns all the way down. It didn't particularly help that even in person, people were socially inept and developmentally stunted, stuck in their school years. So I kept myself walled off. Interacting seemed like a hassle. So I took my own medicine. I recommended above. I joined a football club and started playing regularly again. After training, we would stay for a beer or watch football games together. I chatted up strange people whenever I was outside at a function. I went out of my way to make time for friends, even if it was only a little. There's always an hour or two here or there. I joined a gym. I stopped working remotely and spent more time in the lab. I also started learning in open working areas at the university in different buildings from mine, and sometimes just chatted up people. Oh, and having a significant other really helped, so maybe you would like to try dating. Smile. Yeah, I mean, they touch on so many points that I talked about, where it's like, you gotta just go out, get to know people. Don't wear the badge of engineering to put you down. Use that to empower you. They talk about the pandemic part. We were all a little out of practice, but we, did a little bit of learning and we're back, some might say, to normal operations. And yeah, you just participate in the things that are available in your community, like joining clubs, hanging out with friends, doing an activity, talk to people, and you'll be in a great spot. And if you want to be in an even better spot, make sure you like the video, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in the next one.